Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, just returned to Monday Night Raw after vanishing post-WrestleMania 41. And he did not come alone. But here's what nobody saw coming. He's reborn the Shield. Not with Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose, but with two completely new members that have the entire WWE Universe in absolute chaos. Picture this. A 6 feet 4 inches beast of a man with a no-eye blood coursing through his veins and a mysterious woman whose identity has the internet in a chokehold. Together, they unleashed absolute carnage on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in one of the most brutal, calculated attacks we've seen in years. I'm talking about the kind of beatdown that leaves careers hanging in the balance. But wait, there's more to this story than meets the eye. You see, this wasn't just a random attack. This was surgical precision. This was revenge served ice cold. And the way Roman orchestrated this entire comeback? It's chess moves that are 3 steps ahead of everyone else in the game. The crowd was stunned into silence before erupting into chaos. Twitter servers nearly crashed from the sheer volume of reactions. Wrestling forums are melting down with theories. And we're about to break down every single second of this madness, frame by frame, because what happened on Monday Night Raw wasn't just a return, it was a declaration of war. Who are these new Shield members? Why is Reigns specifically targeting Rollins and Lynch? What does this mean for the power structure of WWE? And here's the million-dollar question that's keeping fans awake at night. Who is that mystery woman, and why did she destroy Becky Lynch with such calculated brutality? I've been covering WWE for years, and I can tell you right now, this is the kind of moment that changes everything. The kind of moment that creates new superstars overnight and ends careers just as quickly. The kind of moment that will be talked about for decades. But here's what makes this even more incredible. Roman Reigns has been playing the long game. While everyone thought he was broken after WrestleMania, he was actually building something bigger, something more dangerous than anything we've ever seen from him before. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this new Shield is more terrifying than the original ever was. Hit that subscribe button and smash the bell notification, because what I'm about to reveal about this mystery woman's identity is going to blow your mind. I've got insider information, I've analyzed every frame of footage, and I've connected dots that nobody else has even noticed yet. Plus, I'll show you exactly how this sets up what could be the greatest SummerSlam match of all time. Let's dive into the chaos, because what happened next will change WWE forever. Let me paint you the complete picture of this insanity, because the context makes this moment even more explosive than you realize. It's Monday Night Raw, June 16th, 2025, live from the iconic TD Garden in Boston, a venue that's witnessed some of the most legendary moments in wrestling history. The arena's packed with 17,000 rabid fans, and you can feel the electricity in the air. These aren't casual viewers, these are the hardcore Boston wrestling fans who've been following every twist and turn since WrestleMania 41 a couple of months back. Now, here's where the story gets personal. At WrestleMania 41, Seth Rollins pulled off one of the most shocking, dirtiest betrayals in recent WWE memory. Picture this, a triple threat match for the ages, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, 3 of the biggest names in the industry, all vying for supremacy in front of 80,000 screaming fans. But Rollins had a secret weapon nobody saw coming. In a move that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, he aligned himself with Paul Heyman, Paul freaking Heyman, the same man who had been Roman's advocate for years. The betrayal was surgical, calculated, and absolutely devastating. Rollins hit CM Punk with a curb stomp that echoed through the stadium, pinned him for the victory, and left Roman Reigns humiliated on the biggest stage in sports entertainment. The aftermath was even more brutal. In the weeks following WrestleMania, Seth Rollins didn't just win, he dominated. He built a powerhouse faction that struck fear into the hearts of every superstar on the roster. Braun Breaker, the second-generation powerhouse with legitimate amateur wrestling credentials, became his enforcer. Bronson Reed, all 330 pounds of him, became his destroyer. Together, they'd been steamrolling anyone who dared to challenge Rollins' authority. Rollins transformed into something we'd never seen before. The self-proclaimed architect of the new era wasn't just running his mouth, he was backing. What happened next will go down as one of the most spine-tingling moments in WWE history, and I'm going to break down every single detail because the execution was absolutely flawless. Seth Rollins is in the ring, mid-promo, flanked by his monsters Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. He's in full visionary mode, that arrogant smirk plastered across his face as he systematically destroys Roman Reigns' legacy with his words. The bloodline's a myth, he declares, his voice dripping with contempt. Roman's out there somewhere, probably crying into his tribal combat vest, while I'm the one holding this entire company on my back. The Boston crowd is booing, but there's something different in the air tonight. You know that feeling when you're watching a horror movie and you know the jump scare is coming? That's exactly what this felt like. The fans are restless, shifting in their seats, phones out and recording because something in their gut is telling them that history is about to be made. Then it happens. The lights in the TD Garden cut out. Complete, total darkness. 17,000 people fall silent in an instant. You could hear a pin drop in that massive arena. But then, cutting through the silence like a knife, comes this slow, heavy drumbeat. Boom! 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 The crowd catches it instantly. They know that rhythm. They've heard it before. And suddenly, from the darkness, comes the chant, Roman! 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 It starts small, just a few voices, but within seconds it's building into a thunderous roar that shakes the entire building. The drumbeat picks up intensity, layering with orchestral elements that make your heart pound. This isn't just entrance music, this is a war march. And when those lights flare back on, there he is, Roman Reigns, standing tall at the top of the ramp like a conquering general returning from battle. But this isn't the same Roman we saw get humiliated at WrestleMania. This is something different, something more dangerous. He's wearing that tactical vest, but it's been modified, darker, more militaristic. His hair is tied back in a warrior's knot. His eyes are cold, calculating, focused with laser precision on Seth Rollins, who's frozen in the ring like a deer in headlights. The roof of the TD Garden doesn't just blow off, it disintegrates. The noise is deafening, a wall of sound that hits you in the chest. But wait, Roman's not alone. Two figures step up beside him, both dressed in black Shield tactical gear, faces hidden under hoods that cast shadows across their features. The crowd's buzzing with electricity. Who are they? The speculation is instant and wild. But Roman doesn't flinch, doesn't acknowledge the chaos around him. He locks eyes with Seth Rollins across that ring, and you can see the fear creeping into Rollins' face as the reality of the situation hits him. Then the Tron flickers to life with those iconic letters, SHIELD. The fans lose their absolute minds, chanting along as Roman and his mysterious crew begin their march to the ring. This isn't just a comeback, this is an invasion. What followed was nothing short of a masterclass in controlled violence, and I need you to understand, this wasn't just a wrestling match or a typical WWE brawl. This was a statement written in blood and broken bodies. Roman slides under the ropes first, and the atmosphere in that ring shifts instantly. You can see it in Seth Rollins' eyes. The cockiness is gone, replaced by genuine fear. Braun Breaker, all 230 pounds of second-generation muscle, steps forward first, trying to protect his leader. He swings with everything he's got, a haymaker that could have decapitated a normal man. But Roman Reigns isn't normal. He sidesteps with the fluid grace of a predator, and the Superman punch he delivers in return echoes through the TD Garden like a gunshot. Breaker doesn't just fall, he crumples, his body folding in on itself as 17,000 fans gasp in unison. The impact is so devastating that even the hardened Boston crowd falls silent for a moment. Bronson Reed charges next, all 330 pounds of him moving like a freight train. This is a man who's demolished opponents twice his size, who's built a reputation on being an unstoppable force. But when Roman hits him with that spear, and I mean hits him, the ring doesn't just shake, it practically bounces off its foundation. Reed's massive frame goes airborne for a split second before crashing down with a sound that makes your bones ache just hearing it. Now the mystery members join the fray, and this is where things get really interesting. The larger figure unmasks first, and the crowd absolutely erupts. It's Zilla Fatu, 6 feet 4 inches, 240 pounds of pure Anoa'i family power. This isn't just some random addition to the group, this is bloodline royalty, and his presence immediately elevates the entire dynamic. Zilla moves with the same predatory grace as Roman, but there's something more raw about his style, more primal. When he grabs Braun Breaker, who's trying to recover from that Superman punch, and hoists him up for a Samoan drop, it's not just a wrestling move. It's a demonstration of genetic superiority. Breaker hits the mat so hard that dust literally rises from the canvas. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Becky Lynch's music blasts through the speakers, and the man comes charging down the ramp with a steel chair in hand, ready to even the odds for her husband. The crowd pops huge. This is exactly the kind of fire they expect from Becky Lynch. Except the female Shield member is ready for her. Before Becky can even get close to the ring, this mystery woman intercepts her on the ramp with movements so fluid, so precise, that it's clear we're dealing with elite-level talent. She snatches that steel chair like it's a toy and tosses it aside with casual disdain. Becky fires off a right hand that would have dropped most women, but the mystery woman ducks and counters with a spinning backbreaker that drops Lynch hard on the unforgiving ramp. The crowd's in shock. This isn't some rookie making her debut. This woman has skills that match her mystery. Alright, wrestling warriors, we've reached the moment you've all been waiting for, the deep dive into the biggest question burning up the internet. Who is this mystery woman who just destroyed Becky Lynch? WWE is playing this absolutely perfectly, keeping her identity locked down tighter than Fort Knox. But I've been analyzing every frame of footage, studying her movement patterns, and connecting dots that most people haven't even noticed yet. Let me walk you through the evidence, because the clues are there if you know where to look. First, let's eliminate the obvious suspects. This isn't a returning legend like Lita or Trish Stratus. While those women are absolute icons, the mystery woman's movements were too crisp, too athletic, too current for someone who's been away from active competition. Her conditioning, her timing, her ring awareness, everything screams active, main event level talent. It's also not some random developmental talent getting a surprise call-up. The way she handled Becky Lynch, one of the most skilled women's wrestlers in the world, with such confidence and precision tells us we're dealing with someone who belongs on this stage. So who fits the profile? Let me present the evidence for the leading candidate, Naomi. Clue number 1, that spinning backbreaker. If you followed Naomi's career, you know that move is part of her signature arsenal. The way it was executed, the setup, the rotation, the impact, it's identical to what we've seen from her in previous matches. That's not a coincidence. Clue number 2, the crowd's reaction. Boston popped hard when she hit that move on Becky Lynch, and I'm talking about a recognition pop, not just excitement for a good spot. These fans have seen this woman wrestle before, and their subconscious reaction suggests they know exactly who she is, even with the hood up. Clue number 3, and this is the big one, the family connections. Naomi is married to Jimmy USO, making her part of the extended Anoa'i family tree. Roman's new Shield isn't just about bringing in random talent, it's about consolidating power within the bloodline structure. Having Naomi as part of this group creates a narrative thread that connects the years of WWE storytelling. But here's where it gets really interesting. Naomi has been criminally underutilized for years. She's got the athleticism, the charisma, and the in-ring skills to be a top-tier star, but she's been stuck in mid-card purgatory. Aligning her with Roman's new Shield isn't just a career move, it's a complete character transformation that could elevate her to main event status overnight. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the other possibilities. Tamina Snuka is another Anoa'i family member with the size and intensity to fit this role. Her more methodical, powerhouse style would create an interesting contrast with the high-flying mystery woman we saw, but stranger things have happened in WWE. Then there's the wild card scenario, an NXT call-up. Names like Julia or Stephanie Vacker have been floating around backstage rumors. Both are world-class talents who could make an immediate impact, and debuting in this spot would instantly establish them as major players. The mystery continues, but the smart money's on Naomi. The reverberations from this attack are going to be felt throughout WWE for months, possibly years to come. This wasn't just a moment, it was a seismic shift that has fundamentally altered the power structure of the entire company, and I need you to understand the full scope of what just happened. Roman Reigns isn't just back, he's evolved. The tribal chief we knew before WrestleMania was powerful, dominant, but he was also predictable. He relied on the bloodline structure, on family loyalty, on traditional power dynamics. This new Roman is something entirely different. He's a strategist who's been playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. By rebooting the Shield instead of rebuilding the bloodline, Roman has sent a message that transcends wrestling storylines. He's saying that blood isn't everything, that chosen family can be stronger than genetic family, and that he's willing to burn down everything he built before to create something more powerful. Zilla Fatu's inclusion is particularly brilliant from a storytelling perspective. At 6 feet 4 inches and 240 pounds, he's got the physical presence to be a breakout star, but more importantly, he represents the next generation of the Anoa'i dynasty. His performance against Zilla Fatu's inclusion is particularly brilliant from a storytelling perspective. At 6 feet 4 inches and 240 pounds, he's got the physical presence to be a breakout star, but more importantly, he represents the next generation of the Anoa'i dynasty. His performance against Braun Breaker wasn't just impressive, it was a passing of the torch moment that established him as a legitimate threat to anyone on the roster. But here's what makes this even more fascinating. Zilla's not just muscle. Watch his movements again. There's intelligence behind every action, a calculated precision that suggests he's been studying not just wrestling but the psychology of dominance. That Samoan drop on Breaker wasn't just a power move, it was a statement that the old guard is being replaced by something younger, hungrier, and more dangerous. The mystery woman's impact cannot be overstated. Whoever she is, her destruction of Becky Lynch has instantly elevated her to main event status. Think about what just happened. Becky Lynch, the man, one of the most respected and feared competitors in WWE, got systematically dismantled by someone whose name we don't even know yet. That's not just booking, that's creating a new star overnight. Seth Rollins finds himself in the most precarious position of his career. His entire architect of the new era persona was built on the foundation of having defeated and humiliated Roman Reigns. Now that foundation has crumbled, and worse, he's been exposed as vulnerable. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, his supposed enforcers, got demolished so thoroughly that their credibility as protectors is completely shot. But here's where Rollins' character gets interesting. He's at his best when his back is against the wall. The visionary thrives in chaos, and this level of humiliation is going to force him to evolve or die. Expect him to make desperate moves, maybe recruiting someone like Finn Balor or even trying to bring CM Punk into his corner. Rollins won't go down without a fight, and that desperation makes him more dangerous than ever. The broader implications for WWE's landscape are staggering. This new Shield has essentially declared war on the entire roster. They're not just targeting Rollins and his faction, they're sending a message to everyone that the power structure has changed. Triple H's creative direction, the rise of new stars, the women's division dynamics, everything is now viewed through the lens of how it relates to Roman's new empire. Paul Heyman's role becomes crucial here. His betrayal at WrestleMania was the catalyst for all this, but where does his loyalty lie now? Will he try to weasel his way back into Roman's good graces, or will he double down on his alliance with Rollins? Heyman's political maneuvering could be the wild card that determines how this entire storyline unfolds. The road to SummerSlam 2025 just became infinitely more interesting. We're looking at potential War Games matches, mixed tag team encounters, and singles feuds that could define the next era of WWE. This isn't just about settling scores, it's about determining who controls the future of sports entertainment. The internet has absolutely exploded over this moment, and I mean that literally. Twitter servers were struggling to keep up with the sheer volume of reactions flooding in from around the world. Wrestling fans, casual viewers, and even mainstream media outlets are all trying to process what they just witnessed, and the speculation is reaching fever-pitch levels. Let me break down some of the most interesting reactions I've been seeing across social media platforms. On Twitter, one fan posted, "Roman's new Shield is unstoppable. Zilla Fatu is an absolute beast, and whoever that mystery woman is just ended Becky Lynch's career." That tweet got over 50,000 retweets in the first hour, showing just how much this moment resonated with the wrestling community. But it's not just praise, there's genuine analysis happening. Wrestling journalists are diving deep into the implications. Dave Meltzer tweeted, "This is the kind of storytelling that creates new stars overnight. Zilla Fatu looked like $1 million, and the mystery woman's work was main event caliber." When the most respected wrestling journalist in the world is giving you that kind of endorsement, you know something special happened. The speculation about the mystery woman's identity has spawned its own ecosystem of theories. Reddit's r/squared circle has multiple threads with thousands of comments each, all trying to decode every frame of footage. One user enhanced the video and claimed they could see a distinctive tattoo that matches Naomi's, while another pointed out specific movement patterns that suggest Tamina Snuka. YouTube comments are going absolutely insane. One viewer wrote, "Zilla's a monster. Give him a title shot already." Another predicted, "Becky versus Mystery Woman at SummerSlam, book it now." The energy is infectious, and you can feel the excitement building for what comes next. But here's what's really fascinating, the generational divide in reactions. Older fans who remember the original Shield are torn between nostalgia and excitement for this new iteration. One Facebook comment that really stood out to me said, "I love the original Shield, but this feels bitter, more dangerous. Roman's not just rebuilding, he's evolving." Younger fans, particularly those on TikTok and Instagram, are creating content at lightning speed. Compilation videos of Zilla's power moves, slow-motion breakdowns of the mystery woman's techniques, and theory videos about what this means for upcoming pay-per-views are racking up millions of views. International wrestling communities are equally engaged. Japanese wrestling fans are comparing this to some of the greatest faction reveals in pure recent history. European fans are analyzing the storytelling techniques and praising WWE's long-term booking. This isn't just an American wrestling moment, it's a global phenomenon. The betting odds have already shifted dramatically. SummerSlam main event predictions that had Rollins as a heavy favorite are now showing Roman as the clear frontrunner. The mystery woman, despite her unknown identity, is already being listed as a potential challenger for the Women's Championship. Perhaps most tellingly, mainstream sports outlets are covering this story. ESPN, Bleacher Report, and even non-wrestling publications are running articles about Roman's return and the mystery surrounding his new allies. The chess pieces are now in motion, and the road to SummerSlam 2025 has become the most anticipated storyline in recent WWE history. Let me break down exactly what I think we're going to see unfold over the coming weeks and months, because the possibilities are absolutely endless. First and foremost, we're looking at Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins 2, But this isn't going to be just another singles match. The personal animosity, the faction warfare, the months of build-up, this demands a stage worthy of its magnitude. I'm predicting a SummerSlam main event with both factions banned from ringside, forcing these two architects of destruction to settle their differences one-on-one. The storytelling potential is incredible, the tribal chief seeking redemption against the visionary who exposed his vulnerabilities. But here's where it gets really interesting. The women's division is about to be turned upside down. Becky Lynch versus the Mystery Woman is money in the bank, regardless of who's under that hood. If it's Naomi, we're looking at a potential heel turn that could redefine her entire career trajectory. The glow could become something much darker, much more dangerous. If it's Tamina, it's finally her moment to step out of the shadows and claim the spotlight she's deserved for years. If it's an NXT call-up like Julia or Stephanie Vacker, we're witnessing the birth of a new main event star. Zilla Fatu's trajectory is perhaps the most exciting wildcard in this entire equation. This man has future champion written all over him, and his association with Roman's new Shield is the perfect launching pad. I'm predicting a rapid rise through the ranks, maybe an Intercontinental Championship program with someone like Gunther or a United States Championship feud that establishes him as a singles threat. His combination of size, athleticism, and a no-eye family pedigree makes him virtually unstoppable. The faction warfare aspect opens up incredible possibilities. War Games at Survivor Series seems almost inevitable now. Imagine Roman's new Shield plus a mystery fourth member against Rollins' faction plus whoever he can recruit in desperation. The storytelling opportunities are endless: betrayals, surprise returns, shocking alliances. CM Punk's role in all of this cannot be ignored. He's got unfinished business with both Roman and Rollins, and his wild-card energy could completely shift the power dynamics. Will he align with Roman for revenge against Rollins? Will he go completely rogue and target everyone? Punk's unpredictability makes him the perfect catalyst for chaos. Paul Heyman's political maneuvering is going to be crucial. His betrayal started this entire chain of events, but his survival instincts are legendary. Watch for him to try playing both sides, potentially setting up a massive swerve that nobody sees coming. The broader implications for WWE's creative direction are staggering. This storyline has the potential to elevate multiple performers simultaneously while creating new stars and refreshing established characters. Triple H's booking philosophy of long-term storytelling is on full display here, and the payoff could define the next era of WWE programming. SummerSlam 2025 isn't just going to be a pay-per-view, it's going to be a watershed moment that determines the future hierarchy of WWE for years to come.